Hello, everyone. My name is Anastasia Abongnelah, and I just want to take this time first to thank Dr. Michael Caldwell for joining us today, and also to thank my fellow students who are on Zoom with me right now. I thought that this was quite timely, and it was necessary for me to come forward and tell you about this news. So I am the current representative at the AAMC, and I am a second year medical student at Meharry Medical College. And so I just wanted to bring forward something that's happening right now. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with this program. It's called the NRMP. I imagine most medical students who were medical students from the 50s to today in the United States are familiar with it. The NRMP helps to match medical students into the residency programs. And the NRMP is actually making a change to the match program at this moment. And so we had the original NRMP, which was initiated in 1952, and it was created to make the matching process more fair and equitable, more efficient and transparent for all the participants of the program. And then in 2012, they realized that there was something missing, in the sense that you had just one match program, and then when students couldn't match, they were forced to actually to start all over again. So something called the Supplemental Offer and Acceptance Program was created, and we know it as SOAP. And it was created to help those students who didn't quite match in those empty programs to try to scramble almost and find, something else that's available to them. But it had its issues, and it's not been 100%, it's not been the best, in the sense that it's almost like an open market, and you get like a large number of applicants scrambling for these positions, and the timeline is not long enough, and so you end up with like programs not being filled and students not being able to match into where they wanted to go. So it wasn't the best as a whole. And so that's why the NRMP is coming forward recently, and they're trying to make a change to the current match program. I imagine that the pandemic also made this issue it brought it to light, and so they were able to see that this was something that needed to be addressed. So currently, we're going to have a two-phase main residency program match, and it's going to be replacing the current match and the current SOAP program. And so what exactly does the two-phase match program mean exactly? What it means is that you're going to have two match cycles and 2 match days. So basically, the idea of it is that students are going to start the first match cycle in February, and then they should ideally be matching into wherever they wanted to get into in March. And then 2 days later, they should be the second cycle. So if you didn't match the first time around, you can try again in the second cycle. And then the upcoming month, you should be able to fill up whatever is left over. And it's really, really an advantage towards students, in the sense that if you were ineligible to try for a program in phase 1, but your eligibility changed in the second round, you should be able to now participate in the second round and try to go for those spots that are important to you. Yeah, so we're going to try to get a proposed timeline on the screen for you all to have a look at. So the program, the timeline is, the idea is that it's going to be enacted in 2024, so it's going to be impacting our class of 2024, which are the current third years in Meharry Medical College. So it's very, very important that we bring this message out to you all, so that you can also go out and leave you can leave your concerns and questions for the NRMP. So they're having an open public comment period right now. and the deadline is September 2nd. So it's really, really imperative that we Meharrians, we the students, we the alumni, the residents, the faculty, everyone go click the link and go out and leave your comments, leave your concerns. If there are certain things that you thought you would have liked to be changed, or if you have any questions, go ahead and leave that in the surveys, because as they're making the changes, it will help to bring to light certain areas that they didn't think about. So that's everything. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to this small announcement about the change, and I hope you can all go out and have a and leave a survey, leave a comment in the survey sections. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and now we'd love to get some questions. I think, Anastasia, that was a great summary. Thank you for being the Meharry representative to the AAMC. We really appreciate it and the information that you've brought. My first question, and then we'll go to our other colleagues, is this is not definite yet. It seems like this is a draft proposal, right? And that the AAMC and the NRMP, which is the National Resident Matching Program, they want our feedback, but it's by the deadline of September 8th. So we still might be able to influence this depending on the feedback that they get. So this is a proposal that should be implemented soon. So is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. And just to clarify, it's September 2nd, the deadline. And
of 2022, in
yes,
case somebody's looking at this after. So September 2nd, 2022 is the deadline to provide your comments for the feedback.
Yes. And your voice matters. The NRMP is reaching out to everyone, to the entire general public, and they want to hear what you have to say about this. So it's important to go ahead and leave your concerns and comments. Yeah. So I'm going to give it off to the students. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and just unmute yourself and give us the questions.
Hi, this was really informative. Thank you so much for presenting this to us. My name is Oyindayo Hassan. I'm a current 4th year here at Meharry. So I don't believe this will be affecting me since I'll be applying for Match 2023. However, I do know people who have had to go through the SOAP and the scramble process. So it does sound very stressful. And I feel like this is a needed change to enhance the process of people getting into the residency program and their specialty of choice if possible. So I do have a number of questions. The first one I would like to ask is, why is the NRMP choosing to change this now?
So I imagine, I'm not quite sure because I'm not a part of the NRMP, but I imagine that when the pandemic happened, it really brought to light and it really showed the deficiencies, and it showed the weaknesses of the SOAP program, in the sense that they were saying that there was doctor shortage and there was spots not being filled at programs that already exist. So it was clear that there was something that wasn't quite right. So I imagine that the NRMP probably created this just to give students that advantage and to give the programs the advantage to be able to fill out the spots that need to be filled out in an organized and ideal manner. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Bella Walda. I'm a 2nd year medical student, and I second that. I think this is really informative and helpful. And my question is, since I am a 2nd year student, how will this affect me and my classmates?
So I imagine that since the program is being changed, their ideal proposed timeline is for it to start in 2024. And ironically enough, we're seeing a lot of changes happening to the specific class, with step 1 becoming pass-fail and all of that. So I imagine that the NRMP making this change would directly affect you, but it could affect you in a positive way, in the sense that if you don't match in the first round, you're able to get back together, make a game plan, and try again a second time. And I also remembered seeing a couple of comments during our webinar. Students were actually even asking, and they said, could we use the first round as an opportunity to go for the safer programs, and then the second round to aim for more competitive programs once we have, once we've matched to a safer program. So that was one of the questions that were brought up. I'm not quite sure exactly what the NRMP is planning to do as a whole, but I imagine that something like that will give students an added edge and an added benefit to be able to try again the second time around, even if you did match in the first round. So it's for our benefit at the end. Yeah.
Thank you for those explanations. The last question I have is, what is AAMC and OSR? I guess those are, especially OSR, I think I'm clear on what AAMC is, because we've kind of been working through the application process and things of that nature, but OSR, I'm not really sure what that is.
Thank you for bringing up that question. The OSR stands for Organization of Student Representatives, and basically you have a number of students in every medical school in the entire country representing their medical school on a national scale. And I was privileged to be able to be the OSR for Meharry Medical College, and we go out and we exchange ideas about the curriculum, and we bring forward any ideas or anything that we think could be a benefit to our institution. So the main point of the OSR is to help connect the students with the AAMC, and also to facilitate the exchange of ideas and communications between these two organizations. Yes. Well, if that's everything, I just want to thank you all once again for joining, and thank you for your questions. They were very, very insightful. And I also want to thank Dr. Michael Caldwell for joining us as well. He's the designated faculty for the OSR. So I just want to take this moment to thank him for making all of this possible. And I hope you guys all go ahead and click the survey and leave your comments for the NRMP. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anastasia.